Hello and welcome back to Alam Inspiration. As we continue with some of our posture breakdowns, we're going to be finding our headstand today. And we're going to work into the shoulders and a little bit of core strength so we can find that strength to lift off of the earth. So to begin, we're just going to find a comfortable seated position, anything from our simple seated all the way up to our lotus, our bound angle, or our hero's pose. We're going to take our right hand and we're going to gently cross that right hand across the chest. We want to keep that right shoulder gently down as we work that gentle strength through the serratus anterior and those lats, letting that gentle stretch across the front side of our delts. And we're going to take our left hand, we're going to gently draw it up so we can find an elbow to elbow connection. Now we'll roll the shoulders back and down. We'll keep that extension out of that foundation. Now maybe this is where we hang out, just working that stretch through our right arm. Perhaps we bend that right arm and we start to intertwine those arms together, working our way into our eagle arms. Now let the shoulders relax back and down. We want to find the elbows will gently reach forward as we extend the fingertips towards the sky a touch. Now those second two options are really gentle movements as they invite that stretch rather quickly in through the shoulders. Now after we've had these eagle arm variations for just a few moments, we'll gently begin to unravel the arms. We'll extend that right hand back out as we keep those shoulders back and down. And then gently we'll release that left hand as that right hand gently falls back and those hands make their way to the knees. We'll roll the shoulders just a few times back, and then we'll find that we'll roll the shoulders just a few times forward, just to get some movement back into those shoulder girdles. And as we find those shoulder rolls even out, we'll take that left hand this time and cross it across the chest. Again, remembering to keep the shoulder relaxed back and down with the strength of the core. We'll take our right hand and we'll work that elbow to elbow connection. And then maybe this is where we hang out. We keep the shoulders back and down. We reach the fingertips in both directions. Maybe we invite that left elbow to bend as we start to interlace those arms around each other. And maybe we just find the back of those palms connect. Maybe it's the fingertips to the wrist, maybe to the palm, maybe all the way up to those fingertips. But we want to keep those shoulders back and down. We want to encourage that gentle rotation of the arms around each other. And we then reach through the elbows gently forward. That just invites that stretch across the upper part of the shoulders. And then the extension through the fingertips up just finds a little bit more stretch through those delts as we find that eagle arm variation. And gently we'll begin to relax those arms away from each other as we extend through those left fingertips out to the right, those right fingertips gently up towards the sky. We keep the shoulders relaxed. We'll find our next exhale, just gently release those arms back down as we find the hands back to the knees. We'll roll the shoulders again forward and back just a couple of times, giving them nice and even and balanced. We'll gently swap the direction of our legs, so if we have one foot in front of the other, now we just keep it nice and equal through the hips. We're going to invite a little bit of a twist into our body. We're going to take that right hand and we're going to draw it over to our left knee. We're going to roll that left shoulder gently back and down the spine as that left hand grounds upon the earth just behind the tailbone. Again, we want to keep those shoulders back and down. Notice that strength that comes through the core to maintain the length of our spine. And then maybe the gaze will start to work its way over our left shoulder. And then we'll draw that gaze back to forward. Our next exhale releases that twist back to our midline. And we'll draw that left hand over to our right knee. We'll start to roll that right shoulder back and down the spine. That right hand will gently ground. We work that length out of our sit bones, hugging the low belly in. And then maybe the gaze will start to work its way over our right shoulder. And an exhale draws the gaze forward. We'll release that twist back to our midline. And we found that we have some movement into those shoulders that we might not have had before. We're going to start to work our way into some core work. So we're going to find our way gently into a tabletop. As we find this tabletop posture, the shoulders over the wrist, the hips directly above the knees. And then all we're going to do is we're going to keep those shoulders nice and firm. We're going to bend the elbows and release the forearms down to the earth. That's just going to draw the elbows up under the shoulders. We're going to keep that hug of the low belly. And we're going to roll over the toes, start to reach the hips up towards the sky. Now notice how we're starting to lift out of that foundation of the hands, the forearms, and the elbows. We'll step the feet in just a touch as we start to release the heels towards the earth. Now gently we're going to start to take the chest back towards the wall behind us. Really invite that strengthening up into the shoulders and find that lift out of that foundation is what's going to maintain the stability of our headstand. So we work that dolphin for a few more moments as we keep that extension out of the earth. And then gently, we can find that the hands will draw together. We'll interlace the fingers together.
we'll find that that creates a little nook that we can place the head down to the earth. Now I want to take the top of our head down to the earth. The back of our head is going to be gently in our hands, very, very soft. Now we want to gently hug the elbows together, work that strength into the foundation. We'll start to walk our feet in. Now maybe we want to take one of our feet, we'll extend it up towards the sky. We just work that length out of our foundation. Find that we start to lift out of the earth. Work those hips up and over the shoulders, and then we'll float that right foot back down to the earth. Now we'll lift up our opposite foot as we extend through that foot. Really reach it up towards the sky. Hug that low belly in. Lift out of the foundation of the forearms and the elbows. And maybe we'll float that opposite foot off the earth. Just a moment, it falls back down. We work that little bit of strength and lift. We'll gently float that left foot back down to the earth. We'll release the heels to ground. And we'll find the knees will gently step to the earth as we lift the head. Make our way gently into a child's pose. We'll find just a few moments to let our breath return to our body. And we'll gently find those hands. We'll draw back together, interlacing those fingers. We're going to lift the hips up over the knees. We release the head to the earth. Now this time as we lift those hips towards the sky, start walking those feet in, we're going to find that we lift the leg of choice up to the sky. And really hug that low belly in. Maybe if we float that opposite foot off the ground, we can gently bend the knee up into the chest and lift those hips up over the shoulders with the strength of that core. Now that extension through that foot that's lifted up to the sky is really going to find that length through the spine. Now remember that most of our weight is in our forearms, so we want to press through those elbows. Find that stretch through the shoulders, and maybe we can extend the other foot up as well. Works that way up into our headstand. All the while, we want to continue to draw the floating ribs together, hug the low belly in, work that extension out of our foundation. And then gently we can bend the knees back into the chest. And then we can start to float those feet down to the earth. Maybe it's nice and gentle, maybe it's not quite as gentle, but we release the knees, the head comes off the earth, and we'll make our way back into our child's pose. And we'll find ourselves in a few moments here in this child's pose. Just let that breath come back to normal. And as that breath returns to normal, we'll gently work those shoulders back up over the hips. Take a moment or two in our hero's pose. And as always, I want to thank you for your effort, for your practice, and namaste, yogis.